Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterduel, a game based off of multiple different Yu-Gi-Oh! Animes, which we all love to really just enjoy and play. And then most of us don't really like doing it too much. So I've decided to make a tier list about it. It's important to acknowledge at least that I want to be ranking these decks about how annoying they are to play against personally, because as a fellow Blackwing Cubic generator player, unfortunately, I don't really play the best decks. And then you decide you want to load into a nice game of Rift, in which you meet some of the most cancerous, terrible decks that are still really good, but you hate to play against because every turn takes about 300 years. But you still like to play games though. Also, if you can tell from earlier, this tier list is not meant to be like an official guide, because I don't know what it can be a guide to. But take it how it is. If you play one of these decks on this tier list, respect, because that means you're probably winning most of the time. Unless you play against other people with the same decks. First up, and most excitingly, we got Tier 0 decks. If you don't know what a Tier 0 deck is, that means you probably don't play Masterduel, which is good. That means you have good mental health. But if you do, these are the types of decks like Tier Limits, Sprites, Runics, and the newest one with that one monster, I forgot what his face is called, like Bastille or Bastille, I don't know. Just decks that don't let you play the game. Or they can lock you out of certain like combos or just lock you out of special summoning. Um, Flu, pretty good example. Laundries, I guess. We're gonna put this at respectable S tier, mainly due to the fact because of how expensive they are and how they usually win you about 90% of the duels. The one we got next up is arguably one of the more popular types of decks to play, even arguably even more popular than Tier 0 decks. And I'm talking about the Pendulum decks. If you can tell, that was obviously a joke. Pendulum decks, for the most part, suck. Unless you're playing very rare archetype, which actually doesn't suck terribly. But overall, pendulums just aren't the way to go. Um, Literally anyone plays literally anything else except for them. If you play pendulums, like honestly, like respect, you're playing a dead archetype. Actually, I don't know about dead archetype, but like these are a couple good examples, I guess. I don't know about good actually. They just aren't good decks. So that's why, personally, wait, no, hold on. I forgot to say why they suck, kind of. It's mainly just due to the fact, like, how their mechanics work. It's just not fun to play with, especially when a lot of decks can easily have Omni negates, just like Tier 0 decks. Um, so if you're literally not in, like, Rookie 2 or something, or, like, the lowest ranks, you're not gonna win with Pendulum decks most of the time. Especially with how easily, like, a basic card like MST can get rid of them. They're just not good decks. But, for the tier list, I'm about them at a respectable D tier. Not just because they suck. I mean, that's partly due. But whenever you play against them, you don't have to worry most of the time because, they suck. Okay, so I just realized how long this video is going, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have any ideas. So I'm just gonna say one more, and yeah, I'll make a part two or something, I don't know. Next up, we got everyone's favorite, the burn decks. If you don't know what a burn deck is, they're pretty much like cards like the Dynamite, cards that pretty much make you lose a lot of your life points. No bad reaction to Smoji, and then whatever that gift card trap is, gives your opponent 3,000 life points. With a bad reaction to Smoji, you can make it so it's 3,000 damage. So if you have the right setup and your opponent can't immediately negate it, you pretty much just win the duel. Very exciting stuff. Um, Honestly, I don't really see many players playing this. There's a small epidemic, which I don't think is still going around, or pandemic, I don't know. Where there'd be this thing called DD Dynamite bots, or bots, where I'm pretty much just random CPUs would just be playing them. Except because the CPUs are literally the Pharaoh and control everything they need first turn, you pretty much would lose to them, or at least they would take so long with their first turn that you'd want to lose to them. And then when you figured out what deck they were playing, you just win the game really. Um, so on the scale for annoyingness, we're gonna put this at a solid A tier because even though they considerably, in my opinion, or personally in my opinion, they suck more than Tier 0 decks. They aren't usually as good. So if they don't do so well and you have a pretty decent deck, you can try to OTK or at least lock them out of traps or negate it.